Hello and welcome everyone. Tonight on the show we have Gardener's Question Time, Mr. Matthew Biggs, and we are here, right here on your screens every Monday to Thursday, chatting gardening 8 till 10. So come join us one night when nothing's on telly, when Bake Off perhaps isn't on, or Stenders, or whatever other rubbish could be on. Come join us 8 till 10. Monday to Thursday. If you're a gardener, you love gardening, then this is the place to be. Let's hear the intro and let's start Tuesday's show.
Facilia. Or Pacilia, if you just read it off there.
Yeah. Oh, I'm on.
Oh, I can't hear you, Anon. I've done something wrong with the thing. Anyway, elephant poo is what I got.
Good evening, Lee. How are you?
Great, mate. Your signal is always terrible, but I'm good, my friend. Excuse me. You got an allotment? When I go, don't put artificial grass on top of me, alright?
Are you going to get composted, Lee?
Yeah,
Oh, are we rocking, everyone? Welcome to Tuesday. I hope you're all well. Tonight on the show, we have a fantastic Mr. Matt Biggs. And no comment to start tonight off with could be better than Suggs saying, looking forward to tonight with the legend. That's right. The legend and Matt Biggs is on the show tonight. Mark Mackey's in the house saying, so watching on Facebook for the first time, giving up on YouTube. So do these comments work? Yes. Yes is the answer. I got a little bit of, I don't know if you hear that feedback I've got going on. Some little bit of, can you hear that feedback tonight? That might just be me. I'm sure where it's coming from tonight. Let's have a little, it's coming from the phone lines. Let's turn the phone lines down a little bit. Not sure what's going on there tonight. Yeah, tonight. Mr. Matt Biggs, very excited. I'm not totally sure when he's coming on. He said, I'll be on in a minute. I think he's scheduled for 8:30, but he can come on whenever you want. If you're watching this, Matt, come on whenever you want. Or before Matt comes on, and you can call in on 0742 357 4520. Come get in touch. Come say hello. No feedback, but picture blurry. Not this again. Not this again, team. Always feel like I've got this happening. It always happens. Whenever I've got a guest on. Whenever I've got a guest on, the picture's blurry. And the guest is always absolute crystal clear. I must sort this out for if we get the legend Matt Biggs on and I'm blurry. It's fine on my picture. It's not be honest, it's not the clearest picture in the world, I know. It's not the clearest, but it's not the worst picture I've had. It's not the worst, team. How are you tonight? Anyway, are we all good? Have you had a good day? It's not terrible. Granted, it's no Sky TV. I've got it. Have you had a good day? Today has been a nice to have a little bit of gardening this evening with me and Olive. Again, having a little bit of a clear up of the garden. She has been she's been doing a little bit of weeding. Now, it went really well for the first 5 minutes. And then it was like, Dad, can I do a job? I was like, you are doing a job. You're weeding. Come on. So we had to make a bit of a game of it. And, we tried to get bits done. Maybe I should have done a bit of gardening before she got back from school. I thought it'd be a nice thing for us both to do together. But she's still in that mindset that it's closed for Christmas. There you go. What can I say? I don't know. What have you guys been up to? You been up to much today? You managed to get down the allotment? You managed to get out in the garden at all? Maybe sow some seeds? A bit of seed sowing to do tomorrow. Finally going to finally gonna sow some onion seeds. We could probably do them on the show tomorrow if you fancy. Shall we do some seed sowing tomorrow on the show? Let's do that. I've just got some seeds from the fabulous Mr. Suggett's club, the Veg Grower Podcast Club. So maybe we'll do them tomorrow. Am I allowed to do that, Suggs? Is that all right? Ian says, we now back in lockdown. So getting rid of the tomatoes I have left and sow the grassy. Good going, Mr. Beddoes. Getting rid of those. The story of the tomatoes from Mr. Beddoes is finally finished. We've had a year of tomato stories, tomatoes and peas from Beddoes. Going into lockdown, sad to hear that. I feel like we're going to get that a lot over the next few weeks. I feel like it's going to happen a lot. I feel like we're all going to go back into lockdown, team. But I don't want to be the bearer of bad news. How you doing, Russ? Good evening. Hey up, how you doing? Russ here. Been away for a bit. I've not done much gardening. Oh, I've been cutting wood to make a new chicken run. Great film. Oh, that's a total separate note. Do you know what? You're not the only one who's been cutting wood, because I know Suggs has been cutting a lot of wood as well. Seems to be that sort of time of year. But great chicken. I know I keep saying, I'm not this year. Obviously, we're coming to winter. I don't really eat chicken this time of year, let alone look after them. I'd love to get chickens. And I've said it, I keep saying it on this show, don't I? I love to get chickens. The likelihood of it happening is slim. Anna Jones, good evening to you. Anna, hello, gardeners. Good evening. Richard's mowed the lawn today. Nice to have a few people on my road mowing the lawn. I did say I'd give my lawn the last mow, but it's growing pretty fast, and we'll give it another little going over. Beddoes says, I've still got 40 plus green tomatoes in the greenhouse. 40! That's a lot. You got to be kidding me. If you tuned in yesterday, just going on his phone, right? If you tuned into yesterday's show, you'd know that I had to get rid of about 20 flies in the studio. I thought I got rid of them all. I've just seen another one. What is going on? Some of you think there's a dead animal somewhere. I really hope not. I really hope not. I'm going to have everything out. I know it's not what you want to hear. It's not what I want to do. That's not right, though, is it? 20 flies yesterday. Now I've just seen another one. What, is he the one that got away, or what? That's not right. Not this time of year. As Lisa just joins us for a fly chat tonight. Matt Biggs on the show. Lisa, welcome. I've been burning a lot of wood. A lot of wood be burning. Bit of a wood collector, Suggs is. I've seen his wood collection. Needs to get burning that. Well, follow along, Lee, on the channel. You might just decide to build a run and a coop yourself. I believe I am following. I don't think I've checked out a video recently, Russ, but if it's a recent one, chicken runs, then I'm all over it. Thought the fox was out earlier. The way you looked up then. I didn't see the fox last night. So anyone that watches the show right till the end can usually hear a fox on top of the roof. Is that something? I wonder if it's something just tapping away. There wasn't a fox. Well, I didn't care. I ran as fast as I could. I locked the office. I'm run. I must get a light outside studio. That's a job for the weekend, I believe. Definitely. Fly chat. What's happening in the studio? Right. The problem I've got in the studio at the moment is flies. Yesterday, 20 went down to the hand of Connolly. Now I've just seen another one, which I don't believe was here last night. I cannot say that was here. No chance. By the way, if you're watching tonight, share the stream because Bigsy's tonight. It'd be really cool to get some peeps in. If you've got a question for Bigsy tonight, by the way, Mr. Matt Biggs, then put it in the comments. And at some point throughout the show, I will ask him your question. Get your question answered by Biggs. Get Biggs on it. Ask him anything you want. Put it in the comments throughout the show. And he'll be sure to answer. I think it's kind of coming out our fate. I think he's going to be bang on the email tonight. I'm well excited. I've not chatted to Biggs since for about a month and a bit now. So I'm excited to chat to him. And excited to get him back on the show. If you've not really listened, we've already had him on the show once. He was on about 2 years ago when we did another show, another live show. He was kind enough to come down and be part of that. But great to have him on tonight. Very excited. Nothing up yet about the chicken run. I'll give you a shout when it's finished. Right, cool. Cheers, Russ. Let's see how we go on. Evening, Alex. Welcome to the show, my friend. Evening all. He says hello to everybody. And Lisa says, Lee, I'm listening to the podcast while watching Love Your Coastal Garden with good old Alan. Is he on tonight? Is that on tonight, is it? I'd love to. We should do a watch-along. Should we do a watch-along one Tuesday? Should we do that? Is that on tonight then, is it? Let's have a little look at this. Oh, I'll just ask Lisa. Is Love Your Garden on right now? If it is, then maybe next Tuesday we'll do the show and we'll do a watch-along. We've done this before. It doesn't really work on my own too much. It sort of works really well. Me and Suggs did it on the 24-hour live stream. I think we should. It's on. Okay, we won't do it tonight, obviously. But perhaps we'll do it next Tuesday. So we're going to interview next Tuesday? I'm not sure who we've got on next Tuesday. It's possible we might have the RHS on next Tuesday. And that's what's going on. 8 till 9. That's where we lose everyone to Alan. Right, hang on, wait there. I'm sorry about this. This intro is not as upbeat as I thought, but the flyers really put me off. I didn't get him. Oh my god, I got him. Unbelievable. Get out of it. They're not good flies either. They're really slow ones. Unbelievable. Right, so that's him down. If there's another one that turns up, then we're in bang in trouble. Bang in trouble. So yeah, look. Today it's been a lovely day outside. It's been a lovely day. Me and I did a few bits. Tidied up our playhouse. The playhouse keeps getting a right old mess. Right old mess. So I said, perhaps you're not going to play it. We'll still do gardening, but perhaps you're not going to play outside that much. I thought we fed the wormery. Worm update, guys. By the way, anyone that's joining now, the viewing now, Matt Biggs is coming on at 8:30. This is just fly chat and me talking about a wormery until 8:30. So stick around. Anyway, the wormery's doing really good. The worms are definitely in there. I was a little bit worried that they disappeared. I was a little bit worried. They're loving it. Me and Olive ripped up a load of paper to put in there. I thought it was looking a bit soggy. I thought it's not looking good. So we just got a load of better paper, screwed it all up, got it in there. Then we got our scraps, put them in there. And now I'm just going to let them just work their way up. Work their way up to the wormery. But I'm very excited that I've managed to keep a wormery alive for this long. One of the things I am going to do is I'm going to get a little bit of bubble wrap and put that around the wormery for winter to keep them a little bit warm. So I won't put a heater on for them, obviously. I suppose I could bring them into the studio. Is that a wise idea to bring them into the studio? They'll probably escape, wouldn't they? Maybe not. Maybe I won't do that. But the wormery's going good. That's going away. We put a few bits in the composter as well. one of the biggest mistakes I made is now the hot bin I've got is pucker when it's at temperature. I've made a mistake, team. That's surprise. I know. I hear you. You're saying, Lee, how is that even possible? I say to you, even legends. I'm sure Richard was talking about me. Even legends make mistakes. So my hot bin's not been at temperature, and I've been tracking weeds and stuff in it, and it has been composting down. And I've used that compost to plant up some new plants. Now the plants are growing really well. The only issue is loads of weeds are popping up through the soil. So I've had to give it a lot of weed, like an unnatural amount of weeds have popped through the soil. So I've had to really give them pots a really good weed today. And some of the beds that I've obviously sprinkled the compost over, I had to do the same. Because them weeds, I call them weed seeds. I'm keeping to it, but the weeds obviously haven't broke down enough in the composter, which undoubtedly, thanks, is my fault, 100%. So I need to get that hot bin back up, get it back up to temp. That's the idea, team. That's what we'll be doing. We've never had so many people watching on Twitter tonight. Thanks so much, everyone that's watching over on Twitter, Facebook, Twitch always, and not many on YouTube tonight, team. Not many on YouTube, but thanks for joining us. Welcome to the show. We're here all the time. Literally Monday to Thursday, you'll find us here every evening, chatting. Well, tonight currently, killing flies, wormeries, and weeds in compost. Right to the Skinny Jean show. My wormery sits outside all year with no protection. I said, do you think I'm like mothering these worms a little bit too much, being literally wrapped up in bubble wrap? maybe I'm caring about them too much. The biggest problem is that I killed those worms, the previous worms, last time, and the last thing I need to do is have to explain to Olive when we open the wormery that Daddy has accidentally let it dry out or not fed the worms, so they've sort of left us. So these worms mean everything to me. Plus they cost me 13 quid, these ones. So the last ones were from Suggs. It really is something about putting your money where your mouth is that makes you feel like you care about them. It really is. He is saying though, bubble wrap is a good idea. He does live in LA though. That's the problem. He does live in the hottest area ever. Should I cover my worms up once it gets cold? Well, this is what we're talking about, Jackson. That's what we're talking about. I'm doing it. I'm getting bubble wrap. I'm going to wrap it around it, keep it nice and warm. And, where we are, it's pretty cold over winter. I'm wrapped up, so I feel like the worms should be wrapped up too. I've already protected them because they're already getting too wet. They went into the wormery. They loved it. Then it rained a lot. And then I noticed they were swimming a little bit. Hence the paper's gone in there to sort of try and dry up some of that moisture. And also I've covered it up so they don't get wet. I don't know where the water's coming from for that wormery. I'm not sure. But anyway, it's undercover now, so it's not a problem. Mr. Jackson says, I didn't last year and they are still alive. Which is fair enough, I suppose. Maybe I'm mothering them too much. Not that they know. I had to deliver an industrial-sized roll of bubble wrap today. Boss went mad as it took me 6 hours and it was only a mile away. It wasn't my fault. When I got there, I was told to pop it over there. going. Oh, that's a good one. That's funny. Oh dear, it's funny. It's funny. Tomorrow, we'll be talking about something that me and Olive made at the weekend. I can't actually talk about it till tomorrow for ridiculously contractual reasons, but it's such a small thing. It really makes no difference. But we've made something really cool. I'm really proud of it. I'll bring it into the studio tomorrow. It's not massive. But if you want to see it, it's going to be on my Instagram tomorrow. So check it out. But we'll be talking about that tomorrow. Another little mate. That's not in the book. It'll be in book 2. I don't have to tell you book 2. It'll be in the amended bits. What they do when they put extra pages in. Just have an extra few pages and they add an extra bit of money on it. They'll be on the amended parts. Oh, that tickles me, Ian. That is good. Oh man. So right, yeah, tonight we're gonna do the adverts early tonight. In about 3 minutes time. Okay, and do the adverts, and then 8:30 tonight we have the one, the only Mr. Matt Biggs on the show. I know I didn't really mention it too much in the run up to this. I'm well excited to have him on. I'm well excited to see him. I say we'll see him at 8:30. I mean, I emailed him the link for this tonight. I said, "It's so easy. My nan could do it," but he did make a good point. He's not my nan, and and I don't know. He could totally prove me wrong, guys. He could totally prove me wrong tonight, and be like an actual expert at technology. It's not all of us too much. So yeah, if you've got a question tonight for him during the break, it's about a 4-minute break tonight. During the break, I'd love to get your questions in, so whack them in the comments. So throughout the interview, I can ask him. If you ain't got a question, that's cool. Just sit and watch and just enjoy. But if you've got a subject you'd like to chat about, if you've got something you want to know from Matt, if you've got something that you just like to hear about, then put it in the comments. You guys can steer the conversation. Very thirsty tonight. Not drunk enough water. Keep hydrated, team. Keep hydrated. So yeah, it's Tuesday. I feel like this week is already feels quite long. I don't know why that is. It just feels like it's already dragged and we're only on the second day. I'm not sure why that is this week. One thing I do know is just getting out this afternoon has really made a difference to my mental well-being. Made me feel a lot better being outside. A lot of conversation last night from that Kiss the Ground episode. I listened back to that again, edit it up for a podcast, which will be out. If you listen to the podcast, thanks so much. All the best of episodes go over there. So that episode will be out in a couple of weeks' time. We're backing them up over there. It's got plenty of content for the future. But yeah, listen back to that, and it did make me think a lot. And then again today, walking to Olive to school, just looking at people's front gardens, thinking, well, we need to do something. One of the things actually, and I might do it next year, I don't know. One of the things that I was going to do this year, we've only got about a minute left, but I probably should have mentioned this at the start of the show. One of the things that I was going to do this year, just in my local town of Colchester, is that I was going to do something with the council to get people doing up their front gardens. Part of I was part of briefly. I've not spoken to the team for all year, which is bad. Really, I should get in contact with them. I was part of Colchester and Bloom for a little bit. And then obviously they had Anglia and Bloom, and then Britain and Bloom goes from there. The competitions. That was an interesting time to try and get that going. But the council wanted me to do something just with people's front gardens, just to brighten up that. And I mean, maybe we'll do that again. Maybe we'll try and do it again next year. I don't know. But especially after last night's conversation, I feel like it's even more important. Even more important. Right, that's me rambling on for half hour. Welcome to the show. Let's have an ad break. Remember, get your questions in throughout the ad break. Just one question would be great. Get your questions in throughout the ad break, and you can ask Mr. Matt Biggs anything. Let's have the ads.
Yo, what's going on? While the other league goes and grabs a cup of tea or just chills out on the side ranks right there, I'm here to tell you about the amazing sponsors that sponsor this show. Firstly, I must say thank you to Flymo. Flymo, that life easy, everyone. Flymo have been a massive support this year to the podcast, so thank you very much to them. And we're getting to that time of year where we should be doing maybe our last cut of the year in the garden before that frost comes along. We don't want to be standing on that grass and too much by damaging it. So what you can do is get hold of the amazing C-Link package. Go check it out on the website flymo.com/UK right now. It's an amazing 3-in-1. You've got one battery that goes into a blower, great for leaves, I've used it a lot, a strimmer and a hedge trimmer, all in one package. Go check it out. It's pucker. I'm using it at the moment to clear all my leaves up. I love Flymo. I've said it before because it's quality product. They're affordable as well, and they're orange, which means if you're going to do any gardening in the dark, it's absolutely perfect. If you're going to do any gardening in the dark, flymo.com/UK. Also, I want to tell you about my book, How to Get Kids Gardening. Go check it out now on amazon.co.uk. We're tilting in the top 100s of children's gardening books at the moment, so help us out. Go check it out. It's $9.99. It's an absolute steal and a fantastic Christmas present. So if you're thinking about a Christmas present for the grandkids, the kids, then go check this book out. For instance, let's check one of the garden mates out. This one, great time of year, hedgehog comb. Absolutely love this. All the mates in here, really easy, really affordable. The most expensive is about £20, so you know, really great book to get outside with the kids. Another great thing to get you and the family, or even if you're just getting into gardening, is Garden Club. I'm so excited about this. skinnyjeangardener.co.uk/GDN. I'll put the link in the description or wherever the comments are. It's a great club. I'm very excited about it. One of the parts of it is you get a weekend breakfast podcast exclusive to the club, which means that you can sit around with your bowl of cereal and listen to like a little radio show that will hopefully inspire you over the weekend to get out in the garden. I've just recorded the first episode and it is awesome. It's uploaded right now on that Garden Club. It's $39.99 a year, which works out at about £3.30 a month. £3.30. You get the podcast, videos, a community hub. You get the audio version of the book. You get, what else do you get? The instant access to me. Plus, if you're a school, you get it for absolutely free, and that rhymes, so it must be good. Go check it out right now. It's skinnyjeangardener.co.uk/GDN. And if you want to sponsor this show, then this is the spot for you. Right here is the advertising spot where I say, hey, go check these guys out. Like, spoon. Why is there a spoon here? Spoons. Want to buy a spoon? Then you should buy a spoon for yogurts and tea. Right, back to the show. Thanks for watching the ads. Go check them things out right now.
Right, welcome back to the show. How are we doing this one? Right, okay, so tonight we've got Matt Biggs on the show, who should be popping up anytime. around now. So if you're watching, you've got a question, then please ask him in the comments. He should be able to see it. I'll be able to see it, and I'll be able to ask him. In fact, as if by magic, he's here. Hello, Matt.
I can't hear you, Lee. Where are you?
Oh God!
Time for your dinner.
Matt,
Where
can you hear
are
me?
you?
Can you? I don't know if you're winding me up or not.
Share
Can you hear me?
Camera mic.
There we go. It's coming.
You're in the show. Everyone can see and hear you, but I can't see or hear you.
Can you hear me now? Can you? Okay.
I'm just going to get my daughter, Chloe. Chloe?
It might be my fault. It could be my fault. Hang on.
Where are you?
It probably is my fault because I didn't do got the default mic.
Try again.
Can you hear me now? Hello, Matt.
Are you there, mate?
I'm here.
Yeah, I can hear you.
You can hear me?
Do you know what it was? It was just a piece of magic. It was an on switch.
Wow, it might be my fault.
You know, Lee, my relationship with technology.
Oh, I was a little bit.
There's an on and off switch here on the side, and that makes a difference as to whether I can hear you or I can't. It's as simple as that. But obviously too complicated for me.
It might have been my fault, mate. It might have been my fault. How are you, man?
Hey. Yeah, I'm all right. Yeah, not too bad at all. Thank you. Not too bad. Yourself?
Yeah, good, dudes. I feel like I've got a fly problem. Which
what, around your head or in your trousers?
What? No, around my head. I don't know what's going on. I think there might be a dead animal in the studio somewhere, which is not ideal. But that's not really your problem, is it?
No, well, I can't wait for it to land right in the middle of your forehead. I'll wait for the moment.
It will happen.
They have the knack, don't they? Flies. They they do have a knack of landing on awkward spots.
Well, we killed 20 yesterday in the studio, so that's not ideal, is it?
Well, I do think there's probably something dead in there. Are those 20 flies in there when you're there or not? Just saying.
Well, no, it's nothing to do with me. Mate, I feel like I've not seen you in such a long time.
Well, no, that's probably because you haven't. And I've missed you, Lee, I have to say, because normally by this time of the year, we've seen each other loads. Never get tired of each other, mind you, which is extraordinary. But we've seen each other loads and caught up with the gossip, started a few rumours and finished a few as well.
Yeah, sure. What have you been up to, mate? Like, what have you been doing this year?
Well, it's been a funny year because I haven't been out much, actually. The truth be known, I've been out in the garden and doing a lot of writing, gardening, writing, and then a bit of gardening, really, and then a bit of writing.
Yeah. Have you got? I don't know if you get this, but I have, and a few other people that I speak to have overdone it in the garden. Like almost, you know how gardening it feels like a treat when you actually get to go out there. But this year we've had so much time to do it. I feel like I've overdone it.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose that you can do. I mean, well, one of the things that you find is that if you spend a lot of time in the garden almost looks like too managed. So the garden can't sort of breathe and do its own thing, because it is a sort of a living organism, isn't it? The grass is growing, doing its thing, and your veg are growing, and your runner beans, the lettuces start to expand. So they're all living a life of their own. And if every time you go in there and interfere, it almost seems as though the garden hasn't got room to breathe. And I think that's almost the kind of thing that's been happening. They become over manicured, in effect, and lose the life of their own. And people have, I think there's one way to sort of chill out from that is if the weather's good, is just go and, take a chair outside and just sit and enjoy it. Enjoy that garden. There seems to be this odd thing, isn't there, with gardeners, Lee, where they go, oh, well, I spent my whole life in the garden, as if someone's got to say, good on you, mate. Result. In actual fact, we know that you spend a lot of time in the garden, but how much time do you spend enjoying what you've done, or sharing it with your your 5 friends? Because you're only allowed 5 these days.
Sure. Not a problem for me. Don't worry. That is the problem, though. Like, I think as gardeners, I know that for me especially is if my garden's never finished, I always think I'm going to finish it, but it never happens. So I'm always doing something. And this year, at least, I've remembered to just chill for a bit and sit back and enjoy it.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, isn't it? Because that's our, our hobby and to a certain extent our workplace. You go into your workplace and you always see stuff that needs to be done. I suppose if you're a gardener who wants to relax, you pick up your deck chair and go and set it out in the middle of a car park. Then there's nothing there that makes you feel you've got to do anything.
Or to think about it.
Yeah. So there is it is a two-edged sword, I think, with this. But nevertheless, working in there, I suppose, does make us happy, and it's good for the soul. And it's so great that so many people are, getting into gardening and finding out all the wonderful things that gardeners have been, I don't say keeping to themselves, but have had in their minds for years. And I was hearing, Lee, about 3 million new people have got into gardening this year. 3 million.
That's amazing, isn't it?
That's a big audience for you, mate.
Well, yeah, sure. They're coming.
Sure.
I think it's amazing.
No, carry on after you, mate. So, well, I was just going to say, with 3 million people. Ladies and gentlemen who are listening to the show, you can see why the conversations that Lee and I have when we're actually together with each other without a time lag just end up being a complete jumble and a mess. And we're just proving it now, just how bad it is. But I was just going to say, Lee, that it just goes to show the number of people who are benefiting from gardening and are really enjoying it, and they're starting out. And, the great job that you're doing with the kids as well, because the children will get the sort of knock on from the stress of the parents. And also the lovely thing is, of course, as you keep on telling everybody, and, it says in your lovely book, your fantastic little book, it's something that people of all generations can do together. And if anybody who's listening this evening has not checked out your book, then check it out. $9.99. Hey, that's great. Easy peasy. Lovely Christmas presents there. It's really colourful and really nice.
I'll pay you later.
That's all right.
You must talking about kids and gardening. I mean, obviously your kids are a little bit older now, but have they been home throughout this?
Yeah, well, my kids are a bit older, so the ones who've been at home, like Chloe, who's doing her A levels, she's sort of busy working away. But my lad Henry, I've got a lad Henry who's coming up to 21. Had to think about that, didn't I? He's coming up to 21, and he came back from university, and he was really lucky because he got a job in a local garden. So he spent, instead of being, and he's kind of a physical kind of guy, so he likes his rugby and he's down the gym and he's really looking after himself. Well, to get a job in a garden, so he was mowing and trimming and tidying and surprising me and his mum with the kind of things that he was noticing. And he's a big lad, he's 6'2" and wide fella, big rugby playing boy, and he was going on about the beautiful flowers, and the lovely sunsets and all. And this is what people are experiencing. I know I was really chuffed. I suppose, your kids, whatever age they are, they'll surprise you by what they see and what they notice. And children, like you find with your Olive will notice stuff and be aware of stuff that you would either just take for granted, just perhaps see and ignore. But to her, it's just like a real special adventure. And I think that's what a lot of people are discovering on loads and loads of different levels. That getting out in the garden is a special adventure for us all.
Yeah, definitely. I was doing some weeding with her this evening, and I planted up a load of new grasses. I don't know, a good few months ago, and she decided to start ripping them out. And at one point I thought, do I tell her that they don't need to be ripped out, or do I just let her do it and then plant them later? I decided.
So what did you do?
I let her do it and plant them later. I thought at this point she's not going to understand. She's only 5. She's not going to understand the difference between the grass that is ornamental and just normal weed and grass. And at least she's getting out there and getting amongst it. So flowers, if it's flowers, she won't go near it. She knows what a flower is. Really tough one though. Really, it's really hard. I don't want to go around saying no all the time, But
Lee, I think that's right. I think what you're doing is right, because just let them get it, particularly at this time of year, just let Olive get in amongst it. And anybody who's listening tonight and watching tonight, if you've got little ones or relatives, nieces, nephews, let them get in amongst it. And the thing is, even if they do a little bit of damage, with a lot of plants, then they'll regrow. You know, if they go around sort of breaking stuff off, you know, you might have to say no. But for the most part, you know, if they pull off leaves and perhaps pull up your grasses, well, you can go and plant those sort of quite happily again. And by the time she gets around there another time, you know, you might just say, well, I tell you what, you know, let's go and pull something else up or whatever it may be. But I think you're right. It's difficult because I think you have to remember, you know, when you've got a little one, that it's if you want to encourage them into gardening, you just have to let them go. And I suppose the only other answer is to have, you know, I bet you've got this already because you're several steps ahead of everyone, is that you've got Olive's plot and you've got Daddy's plot. On occasion, she'll come and help you on yours because that's what children want to do. And, you know, if you want to get your own back, you can start pulling up her plants. So I'll see how she likes it.
She did. Do you know what? I'm sorry, this is about you really, but I'll just tell you. Today we put some bulbs in the soil, and I just gave her the bag of bulbs. And to be fair, they weren't like spread out terrifically well, but I wasn't rating her. But she was popping them in the soil and going pat pat push. I was like, where did she get that from? Like, so she must have done it maybe at school or something. But she's going pat pat push. Like,
I think the other thing is, you know, the kids are coming at it from a completely different angle to us, aren't we? We're sort of, you know, we're adults who have been instructed or been told the right way to do it. And I think the children are just doing it according to what their imagination tells them, or, you know, perhaps what they've, you know, read in a storybook or you know, like you say, seen at school or something like that. So I think it's very difficult as an adult not to interfere. That's the most difficult thing. I mean, I suppose the answer is that if she does a pat pat push and it goes in the ground and you can roughly work out where things are, you can, you know, nip out at night, you know, lift them all up with a fork and plant them properly or something like that. Because the one thing that you do want her to do, and you do want the children to do, is to see some results. Because the second part of the magic is when those little bulbs, you know, they're planted in the ground like, you know, little stone-shaped bulbs. You know, they look, these odd things with no sign of life suddenly produce the shoots and the lovely flowers in the spring. So I think there's probably a little bit of, you know, deceit going on there as well to make sure it has the right result at the end. Just don't tell her.
Being in like gardening, did you try and get your kids into gardening, or was it something you didn't want to try and push too much?
No, actually, Lee, do you know what, mate? I didn't, and I think people would think that you'd really want them to get into gardening. But I felt, I mean, that if they could find something that they liked, I wouldn't necessarily, you know, if it was whatever it was, if they could have an enthusiasm or a pleasure from it, and you know, help other people, whatever they do, if they got happiness from it, I reckon that even if they didn't do it for a living, then they would get pleasure from it later on in life. It comes to a lot of people later on, and I'm still not sure. I don't know whether I've said this to you, Lee, before, but you know, in my quieter moments, I have thought and wondered whether, you know, how it would have been if I'd have just kept gardening as a hobby. Because though I love my job, I really love my job, and I'm lucky to have a job that, you know, really interests me, I still think there's a tiny little percentage of pleasure that's not there, which I would have had if it had just been a hobby. So when I do it for a job that I love, it becomes more critical. So I look at my garden, you know, with my professional hat on, thinking, you know, and I'm always frustrated with my garden that it doesn't look the way I want it to be. So I think almost if you're a gardener for a living, you then need to go and find another hobby just to calm yourself down a bit. It's bizarre.
Can you not? Because obviously you do a lot of writing. Can you not split that as writing being a job, and then the gardening being, or is it because you're writing about gardening in such detail that it's just the same? It blurs into.
I mean, I think you're absolutely right with the second bit. It's all gardening, and I would love it if I could split it. I always had in my mind that it would be nice to earn enough money just to write in the afternoons, garden in the morning, or the other way around. So just half a day's work, you know. Not that I'm lazy or anything, but I just wanted to do, 2.5 days a week writing and earning money, and then the rest of the time gardening, which is still learning and is still part of the job. but because I've got a wife and kids, kind of thing. Sorry, they're not here; they can't hear. But because I've got a wife and kids, you've got responsibilities, and so therefore I've ended up working much harder than I ever intended. But I'm therefore also thankful that I've got a job that I like. So it is a bit of a sort of a mix up. But in my ideal world, I'd do half a day's work and then half a day's gardening every day, and I think I'd be better for it.
That is the dream. I think I've started to do, not because I'm earning a lot more money, but I've started to try and do that a little bit, even just get an hour in a day, just to potter, because especially with what I do, is because it's quite ridiculously, it's quite screen based for a gardening job.
Yeah, you see that's the thing with the writing, because the writing takes ages. That's been the frustration in a way, and the writing it's a really sort of long-winded thing. I went and interviewed somebody about their garden, so I did that last week. That took me a drive up to see them, then interview. Then for some reason, Lee, my dad said to me when I was about 14, he said, "I think you ought to learn to type." Right. I was going, this was before computers, before the abacus almost. And I was thinking, you're joking. I don't, why do I want to learn to type? And he said, I think you should learn shorthand too. And I think he thought, because there was no particular job that, I was going to be outstanding at, I think he just thought, well, if he can do that. In those days, they had male secretaries. And I think he thought I'd end up being a secretary. You could see me in a miniskirt, mate. For now.
Yeah, that was
but anyway, in those days, that's what it was like. And of course, things have changed a lot now. But I learned to type, and so I transcribe everything. Then that has to be read, and it goes back to the person. Then it comes back to me, and they will have put changes in, or I will have misunderstood something. Then I have to rewrite it again, which takes loads of time. It takes me a long time. And then it goes back to them. Then they invariably change it again, even if I'm just using the words they've used. And then it eventually goes back. So it's this really long process. And I think that sort of it's fascinating because it's about plants. But the frustration is, with something like this, do you want to come on Skinny Jean's radio program? You bet, I'm in. But it'll be 8:30 till 9. And at 9 o'clock or what? If you'll go and have a brew, go and get the kettle on, job done. So the writing is quite, hard work and concentrated, I have to say. And the problem is the deadlines. So if I didn't have deadlines, then I could do what I'd love to do, because I just go, well. But the problem is, like as well, Lee, and all the listeners know, another problem here is that if you go out in the garden for half an hour, you don't. You're going for an hour. And that's the other thing, isn't it? Once you're out there, you go, I love this. And that's where you stay.
Do you find it difficult? Because obviously, through writing books and things, there's people that have to look over it. Like you say, it goes backwards and forwards. Do you find that difficult, and find people being quite critical about your writing? Because obviously you put everything into that piece, and then it goes off, and they say, no, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, correct that. Do you find that difficult?
Yeah, I really do, because what actually happens is that you write it from your heart and from what your experience, and you just write it in your own style, like the way you write it. Matt Biggs writes the way he writes, and that's it. And then, of course, you get an editor who wants to change it because they think it should be delivered in a different way. And I've had stuff. There was one book that I wrote, actually, that in the end, I just felt it wasn't mine anymore. They chopped and changed. And they said it was too horticultural. I'll never forget that. It was too horticultural. It goes, this flipping gardening book, mate. Just a quick reminder. But that's what they thought. So, and I find that really hard. And articles as well, because they have to trim everything to fit the columns. So if it's in narrow columns, and they do it very, very well. But there are times when you think it's got your name on it. You go, but that's not mine. That's perhaps not the way I wanted to tell the story. So I do find it frustrating at times.
Your favorite, I know from like knowing you, that your favorite thing to do is like the research part of these books and meeting the people.
It is. Do you know what, Lee? I love stories. If anyone's got a story, or even if I can make a story of my own just to keep myself entertained, It's absolutely great. And I love doing things that are different. I haven't told you this, but the ladies and gentlemen who are listening, Lee and I know a guy called Jim Buttress, and he's the RHS judge who wears the bowler hat, and he was on telly doing the Great Allotment Challenge or what have you. So he's really into his football, and I spoke to him yesterday, and I went to him, "Hey Jim, mate, have you ever done this?" And I got a phone call from someone saying, "What are you doing this afternoon?" So I said, I'm doing a little bit at the village show, but after that I'm free. And I said, why? How can I help you? And he went, well, we've got Harpenden Town FC have got a big football match going on, and it was a preliminary round of the FA Cup, and it was a sellout, 300 tickets, and they said, would I be the stadium announcer? Oh, flipping out some of that, mate. So I did, and I loved it. It was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. So it's reading all the names out, telling them about all the COVID restrictions, where they got their coffee and their beers at half time, read out all the team sheets, gave them the score. But the thing was, I was expecting to go to the little stadium with a little desk and a microphone and tannoys around it, but it was even more basic than that. So I stood in one corner of the pitch with a karaoke speaker, and the bloke said to me, they left me entirely to decide, what I should do. They just asked me to do it, so it was me that decided I needed to, deliver the, be careful to stay 2 meters apart, and here's the team list and all this kind of thing, and to thank everyone for coming at the end and wish the team who won, it wasn't Harpenden, wish them good luck. The bloke said to me at the beginning, he goes, "Where do you think we should stand?" And I was going, "Well, the wind's blowing this way across the pitch, so perhaps we ought to go up there so my voice carries." But I loved it. That's the kind of thing that really, keep it. My fee was a couple of pints, so I got a couple of pints. I was told it was going to be a burger and a pint, but I got a couple of pints and a lift home. But it's those kind of things that make life fun, and interesting. And of course, if they ask me to do it again, I'd love it. And it's those kind of stories, and it's so if you find interesting people, my great gardener's book, fascinating people did crazy and outlandish things, were really sort of obsessed by gardening, and and I dug up these stories, and it's the stories and the research that I love. So I think something keeps me entertained, gives me a bit of a laugh and a story, then I'm happy.
Who would you say? I know it's probably difficult for you to say, but who's been the most interesting person that you've ever had to go and do research or go and speak to about a book?
Oh, that's a
big question.
That is a big question, because the thing is that over the years, I've been really fortunate, say like with Gardener's Question Time, for example, to meet some really amazing people. For example, there was a bloke called Roy Moxton, and years ago, Eric Robson, the chairperson of Gardener's Question Time, was reading a book called The Great Hedge of India. And I talked to him about it, and I bought the book. And basically, the British, when they were in India, to stop salt smuggling, because there was a high tax on salt in one part of India. So inevitably, people thought, right, we'll smuggle it through from somewhere else. So they built a hedge that was it was a thicket, about sort of 30 feet wide or a bit longer in parts. And that's like 2,500 miles long. So funny enough they said to me several years later, "Would you like to go and interview this guy, Roy Moxton?" And I thought, flip it, that's about the Great Hedge of India. So I met him at the South London Botanical Institute in the library as an elderly fella who lived in a flat above Neil's near Neil's Yard in Covent Garden. But that's where he'd done his research, in this beautiful old botanical institute. Lovely, lovely place. And we got chatting about this. And at the end of all this, I said to him, I was just chatting about him going to India because he loved India. Obviously, he'd done all this research. And then he said to me, "Do you know," he said, "I'm best friends with an Indian bandit queen." I went, "What?" He said, "I'm best mates with an Indian bandit queen." I was like, "You're joking? Tell me more." And apparently there was this, this Indian lady who was a bandit. She had a group of 30 people around her, and they would rob and what have you. And eventually she was caught and put in prison. And he was fascinated by her, started writing to her, and became really good friends with her. So when you get stories like that, I'll never forget this guy going, I'm best friends, or I know an Indian bandit queen. You just sit there and go, flipping heck, mate. Where'd you go from that? And there's a botanist that I discovered when I did my Great Botanist book. And he was a pirate and botanist, keep continuing that thing. So when he wasn't sort of trying to capture Spanish sailing ships, he was taking notes about nature and tides and the birds and the animals. And I discovered that he landed on Australia before Captain Cook. And I think because he was a pirate and had a real bad, obviously that's not a very good PR to have a pirate, discover it. No. So they had this official royal, party go and discover Australia. But, actually, this guy actually found Australia before everybody else.
That's crazy. No one ever talks about that.
No, and it was his name's William Dampier, and the reason I found out about him was I went to research another plant hunter, and I went to the plant sciences department at Oxford University, and there was a delightful lady called Serena Marner down there in the herbarium, and she was very, very, very slim, sort of getting towards retirement, but almost like translucent, but really, really quiet, incredibly helpful. And she looked as though she'd sort of spent all her life in a herbarium under lights, or in the dark. She looked as though she could do with a, good steak and a blood transfusion and a holiday in the sun, But she was lovely. She was an absolutely lovely lady. And I got on with her really, really well. And right at the end of the day, I just said to her, Serena, I'm really into William Lobb, the plant hunter. Is there anyone that really fires you up? And I'll never forget the transformation, because her eyes lit up, her face suddenly became animated. She stood tall, smiled, and she said, "Oh, William Dampier, the pirate botanist. I've never heard of him." And so she told me all about him. And I've again did a load more research for one of my books, and actually went to the place where he lived and saw the house where he was born in Somerset, back in the church. Saying all about him. And he was so influential that Joseph Banks and Captain Cook, the great explorers, actually consulted his writings on tides and weather before they went and travelled to Australia. So you never hear about William Dampier, but he was another great one.
It needs to be a film about him. That'd be an awesome film.
It would be a really, really good film, because he was, as I say, he was capturing Spanish ships. He was, attacking the cities in Central America and down into Colombia. And when he sailed back from Australia, he sailed back on a ship called HMS Roebuck that was so rough that it actually sank off Ascension Island. And he saved his, pressed plant specimens, took his plant specimens with him. They got to Ascension Island. He lived in a cave for 3 months, and eventually those pressed plant specimens got back to the University Herbarium at Oxford, and I've seen them. So I saw these pressed plant specimens that this lovely lady Serena Marner got out for me, and she's just a fantastic lady. She's just the best, because she's so knowledgeable about this guy and so enthusiastic. And I think the lovely thing about it is that she looks the least likely person to be fired up by it, and that makes it doubly exciting and makes her fantastic lady to know.
Yes, yeah. Probably doesn't get the chance to talk about it that often with such enthusiasm.
Yeah, I suppose that's true. But I was also really pleased that on that day I asked her, right at the end of the day, just before I was going, we're packing up ready to go, and it just crossed my mind, I'm into this plant hunter, surely she must be. And in the end, got a great story. I've got some books to read about him, and I've got him in one of my books, because he had to go in.
Yeah, definitely. How many books have you wrote now, Matt?
I counted. I've contributed to quite a few. So there were the Gardener's Question Time books, and I I've taken part, if you like, in 15, and 8 of those have been books of my own. Yeah,
Wow.
so that's a lot, you know, a lot of writing. But and I would say the ones that I've done some big books. I wrote a book all about the Eden Project, and then I wrote a book all about the RHS. And I was really honoured, really honoured to be asked to write those books. You know, that was a real honour. But I have to say that the ones that I've enjoyed were the Secrets of Great Botanists, just because it's like packed full of stories and crazy people, and the Secrets of Great Gardeners as well. So real characters, you know, real pieces of history, and you know, it's just lovely when you unearth a great story.
Yeah, definitely, man. Matt, I was going to ask you. Before we've got a few questions coming in. If you don't mind answering them in a sec. But one of the things I was going to say to you was, obviously through lockdown, like you say, 3 million extra people got gardening, and through what you do, obviously with Gardener's Question Time, have you had more and more people ask you questions about gardening than ever? And does it annoy you?
Yeah, do you know what? I'm getting loads of Gardener's Question Time. I think we're getting our standard numbers in. We're certainly getting a greater diversity of the questions and the people. And that's great. You know, that's absolutely great. But what I seem to be getting, because a lot of people who I know are, you know, enjoying gardening, I seem to be getting an awful lot of emails from people saying, can you help me with this? What do you do? Which I'm really pleased to do. But certainly that ups my workload, because I think everybody thinks they think that they're the only person asking that question.
Yeah.
So somebody go, I know what to do. I'll ask Matt, you know. So Matt sits here getting one, and then everybody else is thinking, I know what I'll do is I'll ask Matt. So I've been getting loads, and it has been getting quite tiring. Actually, it's quite taxing, and because I'm you know, I've just got loads on at the moment. But I try and make time for people if I can. But it's sort of I'm starting to wilt a bit under it all at the present time. But it's just so great that people are happy gardening. You know, good luck to them all.
Definitely, man. Let me just have a quick look. Are you right to answer some questions, Matt?
Yeah, of course I am, chap. Yeah, no problem at all.
Mark has said, can you ask Matt, when he was at Pershore College, what he studied? I was at Pershore 20 years ago.
Right, okay.
How did studying at Pershore shape his interest? It was a great time back then, and horticulture is so much fun. Young people should consider it more. We have great horticolleges in the UK.
Yeah, top man, Mark. Yeah, I did a national certificate in horticulture, nursery and ornamental, and that was my sort of basic training. And I'd say that was really from September till the following May or something like that. And it was great to go there. Pershore in those days was Pershore College of Horticulture, like it was when Mark was there, and you know, it was quality, and we were very fortunate, I think, because the college has got a reputation, and that was one of the reasons why, you know, I was glad to get in there. So I think it's, you know, and the world has changed. I think it's a shame that we don't have colleges of horticulture specifically anymore. Pershore does do horticulture, and lots of other colleges do, but obviously because of, you know, trying to keep going, they have other courses too. So yeah, so 20 years ago at Pershore, it would have been a great time to be there. I mean, I have to admit that I was there a little bit earlier, so I was there 83 to 86. I'm not between 83 and 86. That was 1983 and 1986. But yeah, cracking place. And how did it shape? That's an interesting question. I think because I was very early on in my career. I'd worked on a parks department. I'd done a lot of sort of tidying and what have you, you know, and basic stuff. And it was, you know, it was just really good to get somewhere where we learned about gardening.
Yeah. Do you when you left school, was gardening one of the things you always wanted to get into straight after you left school?
Do you know what, Lee? It wasn't. I had no idea. See, I left school at 16. I know I wanted to leave. I showed no aptitude for anything other than talking and having a laugh. You know, I remember got on one of my school reports said, you know, Matthew must learn that, you know, school is not just a social occasion. Because I just enjoyed sort of, you know, laughing and mucking around with the lads kind of thing. Yeah. And so I looked at all sorts of jobs, you know, and I sent out loads of job applications, and the one that came back was a clerk for the council, and I worked in the housing department when I was 16, and got a trainee clerk's job. But it was 3 years of being fed up and realising this wasn't the thing for me. And I used to help my mum in the garden, just tidying up. And my dad would take us walks around the country when we were kids and show us, the lovely, teach us to look and see and observe and what have you. And I was working on the 13th floor of an office block in Leicester, and looked out one day and saw the guys sort of mowing the lawn. It was a lovely sunny day, and I thought, I wonder if you're able to be a gardener, because nobody told you that. So I started doing my own research at the careers office down the road. Right. And little by little, I thought, oh, you can be a gardener. And then I can't do maths. I haven't got a maths O level, so that held me back. But in the end, I was able to get into Pershore if I did a year's practical. So I got a transfer from the housing to the parks, did a year's practical, and that was effectively just sort of sweeping and tidying up and cleaning toilets and stuff. And that was a big disappointment. But I knew that I suddenly thought, this is what I want to do, and this is what I've committed myself to. So it was. But what was great about cleaning the toilets every day is that it's been a sort of a benchmark. So everything I've ever done since, I go flipping out. Do you know what? I used to clean the toilets every day, so I can honestly say I started at the bottom.
Yeah, you see,
hey, I'm here all week.
Literally, I can imagine you've said that joke a million times.
but it is a good, So I've been in the rainforest, and I go, Matt Biggs, you started out cleaning toilets every day. Here you are standing in a rainforest. Here you are, going to these wonderful places, meeting these great people, seeing these great gardens, and you started as a toilet cleaner and a litter picker. Right. And also being a toilet cleaner and a litter picker is a really good sort of motivation, a real kick up the backside. Because I tell you what, there's no way I was going to do that forever.
No, that's it's nuts, isn't it? Richards asks, what tips can you give for someone who wants to write more about gardening?
Well, I would say these days, Richard, the lovely thing for everyone is that, start a blog or what have you, and because you have to learn to write. I did English O level and got a grade C. So again, I was nothing, I was no great checks. I've always loved reading and I've always loved the English language, but I was not greatly educated in it. So I would say start a blog. And the other thing is, I'd say to you, do a lot of reading, try and understand how the language is constructed. Who do you think are really interesting, people to read? Look at the different styles of writing. There's loads of different styles. If you read a ghostwritten autobiography, it's like in the first person. It's as though you can hear them talking. But whereas other things might be more instructional. So I would say to you, but I would also say to you, it's no way to earn a living. It's hard graft. So have that, get yourself a proper job, and then have that as the icing on the cake. Because if you depend on it, it's quite tough. And as we've stated already, it's time consuming. But what you must do is give it a go. I think with anything that you fancy, give it a crack. Don't ever deny yourself an opportunity, because if you go, I'd really like to do that, but I don't think I can. Well, how do you know that you can't until you've tried it? And you might find that it's not as bad as you think it is. So have a crack at everything. And once you've had a crack, if you decide that it's not for you, then that's fine. But you go, I thought I wanted to do this. I gave it a go, and I didn't think it was for me. But at least you made the decision afterwards rather than denying yourself the opportunity. And I think that's really, really important.
Yeah, it's so true, isn't it? Just get going is the thing, isn't it? Just get started.
It is. I think you've got to be prepared to shut your eyes and jump, sometimes. Like this football stadium announcing. Well, I had no idea what I was going to do.
But this could be a big career change. As soon as football really comes back in, when they start letting people back in the stadiums.
Yeah. Well, it's just
Matt Biggs.
Matt Biggs, yeah. I mean, that's the thing but you work it out for yourself, and you've always got a reference point. Because I thought, well, what would you do? Well, the people will expect to hear the names of the teams. They will expect to be welcomed. They'll be expected to be told how long half time is, where they get their coffee, who's producing the nice, go and support the small businesses outside, the one-way system through the clubhouse. It's all
it's all important, mate. I mean, I've really gone into it in detail. won't see you again next year, will I?
I think the thing is the other thing you should say that I should say to people is try and be within your capabilities. Do your best. Really, always do your best. Don't take anything lightly, and take your job seriously and be professional. If again at the end of the day you stumble and what have you, then that's fair enough. But at least you've prepped yourself, thought about it, and done your best for folk, and they will realise that. If you go in and you go, I'll just go and wing it, then you're likely to fall and you won't be asked again and people won't think of you. So set your own professional standards and try and stick to them.
Definitely, man. Definitely.
I must do that myself one day.
Yeah, I'll try. I was literally thinking I've made a career out of that. Final question for you, and this is one that I 100% have missed them. Sean says, I've enjoyed having a break from visiting all the garden shows this year and spending time on the allotment. Has Matt missed the garden shows?
Sean, the old, have I missed the garden shows? You bet. Yeah, I've missed the company. I've missed seeing my friends. I've missed the excitement of the plants and the interest that goes there. I've missed seeing people being excited and the little sights of trolleys full of plants that people are going to wheel home and make themselves happy. I've missed the friendship and the fun. One of the worst things about the current crisis is that it's fragmented society, if you like, and the kind of things that you expect to do that make you happy and the things that you look forward to, gone. Anything that's exciting, gone. Any fun, gone. So the shows are I've really missed, and let's hope they'll get it sorted. And even the village shows, it's those kind of things. Lots of people are missing things on lots of levels. So the sooner we can get back, the better. But I still think that even though we don't have all those privileges, we still have the privilege and the pleasure of gardening. So perhaps not the exciting end of things, but thank goodness we can still go out there, we can still plant and grow, and then just enjoy being out in the garden. And another thing, can I just say one more thing as well that has occurred to me? That one of the great things you can do at the moment, you can't do this and you can't do that, but one of the things you can do is go garden visiting. So go garden visiting, and that's really brilliant.
Yeah, I went to before it started getting a bit worse, Westdean Gardens the other day.
Mate,
good gardens. I've never been before, but beautiful.
Yeah, no, it's fun. I have mixed feelings about Westdean because it's so fantastic that it's almost depressing because it's immaculate. But it does make you realise what you can do. Boy, oh boy, it's fantastic. Well, do you know what? I've been with Christine Wharton, lovely Christine Wharton from the One Show on Gardener's Question Time. We've set aside like a day a month and we go for a garden visit because you can socially distance, you've got something you enjoy, you go off somewhere, don't have to be too far afield. And it's a meet up with your friends. So there's nothing stopping you from getting 5 other friends and meeting at a garden and going round a garden together. And I think one of the problems is there's a lot of us have thought, can't go out, you've heard people say, you can't do anything these days. Well, hang on a minute. If you think about it, try and find things that you can do. And garden visiting is absolutely one of them. Or go to your local park, walk around the park. This is where the parks are important. And if you can't get to the park, just walk around your village and look at the front gardens. Or go into the allotments if you can and just go and see what people's grown for their veg. With gardening, there's always something you can do.
Always something to get outside, isn't there? Definitely.
Absolutely.
Matt, thanks so much for your time tonight, dude.
Oh, it's an absolute pleasure, and thank you everyone who's taken the time out to listen. I wish everyone well, and just keep gardening because with gardening we'll all get through. And I'll catch up with you soon, Lee.
Definitely, man. I'll give you a bell tomorrow, right?
Yeah, take good care. Look after yourself. Nice to see you now. Cheers. Bye.
There we go, everyone. Mr. Matt Biggs on the show. Honestly, such amazing stories that man has. And someone says, great show tonight, Lee. I knew Matt would bring up the pirate. It's a great story. I need to read more about that. I need to find out what book. I tell you what, after the break, we might have a little look. If you got any other questions tonight, then please get in the comments during the ad break. I need to have a little look at Matt's website during their break because I need to find out what book that is that them stories are in. I think I know which one it is. Let's do an ad break and then we'll come back to that. I'm really enjoying these like little free flowing adverts. So thanks for watching. I hope you're enjoying tonight's show. It's pretty good, isn't it? Well, hopefully. I quickly want to say thanks to our sponsors, flymo.com/UK. If you're like me right now and you've got a load of leaves, they're not even my leaves, they're from next door neighbour's garden, right? Unbelievable. But if you've got loads of leaves in your garden, then you should get yourself a Power Vac 3000. That sounds powerful. Power Vac 3000. It's a proper awesome leaf sucker upper. That's not actually, surprisingly, that's not the name for it, but it sucks leaves. It's absolutely pucker. It's did I say it was pucker? It's an amazing product, and it's from Flymo. Go check it out on flymo.com/UK. If you spend over 45 quid on there, you get a free delivery, which is great. As I've said before, I love their products. Quality, affordable, just a great brand to work with. Thank you very much to them for sponsoring the show. Also, as you well know, the How to Get Kids Gardening book is available, ho ho ho, right now. That's me saying it's Christmas coming. So if you know me, if you're a friend, you know what you're going to get for Christmas. If not, then head to amazon.co.uk, check it out, and you could be making, ready for next year, a pallet allotment. I love this idea because what we do is we plant up between the pallets, stop those weeds from coming through. It's a great and easy one to get. Look at that. Get the kids gardening. Go check it out. I love this book. I'll talk about it a lot, I know, but to have all my ideas in one book, I feel really proud. So please do go check it out. It's an awesome thing to have. If you want this book but in audio form and be part of an awesome club, then you need Garden Club, GDN Club, with me, the Skinny Jean Gardener. It's so awesome. I'm too excited. I'm so excited about it. You can go and check it out right now at skinnyjeangardener.co.uk/GDN. I'll put a link in the comments right there. It's got podcasts, videos, it's got community hubs. It's just a great way to get you gardening in 2021. There's content already being put up there right now. Every week you get a weekly exclusive podcast. You get a weekly video. Did you get a video weekly? Monthly vlog, thank you. And just so much content on there. It's great. I don't know, I've not sold it great there, but we'll carry on. Go check it out right now on the website. It's $39.99 a month, which, not a monthly. It's not a month, it's a year. Why do I keep saying a month? It's not, that'd be too expensive. But a year works out at £3.33 a month, doesn't it? So $39.99 a year is how much it costs. So go check it out. If you think it's cool, let me know. If you become a member, I'll find out. But I'd love to see you guys over on there. It's going to be a lot of fun. Also, as always, if you want to sponsor this stream, then you definitely can. There's at least right now 15 people watching. 15! Come and watch the stream. Come be part of it. Come be part of the podcast. Oh, hey. You literally catch me. You literally... 2 flies during that interview. Thanks so much to Matt Biggs. I need to sort this office out tonight. Thanks so much to Matt Biggs, everyone. What great chat. I just texted him out. Thanks so much, man. Because it's always so easy to interview Matt. Always so. He's got so many stories. Let's see what everyone's saying. Ian says, nice one, Matt. It's been brilliant listening to Matt. Nice one, Matt. Legend. Hang on a sec. I was here, right? The ego needs feeding. Yeah, Matt, thanks so much for coming on, man. It's been an absolute pleasure. Hello, Kelly. Good evening to you. What does Kelly say? Pumpkin picking cost me 30 quid. On Instagram, B Vintage Be Chicken Happy. It's a great name for an Instagram account. We can talk about pumpkins later if you fancy. By the way, phone lines are open. If you've got anything you want to say about that interview with Matt, then call me now. 0742 357 4520. Or there's going to be a link in the text or in the comments, which you can click right now and be zoomed in, just like Matt, unless you're on Twitter, which is I want to send to Twitter tonight, which is fine. Don't worry about it. It looks like spam. What's he talking about? You can call. I don't know. Call him anyway and get involved in tonight's show. We've got another 40 minutes left of the show tonight. What a great interview. If you missed some of that, don't worry. You can obviously watch it back on this channel, or wait until it comes. Sorry, wait until it comes out. Best of podcast team until be a few to watch it safely before they get to it. It was Sean saying having the countdown screen is great because you can. It's the start of the next. There you go. Try. Mute. Right? You know the next adverts. That time will be off. What else was everyone saying? I did see Lisa. Lisa, I did see your comment come up, but because it was sort of the same as Rich's question, I didn't really mention it. But I also have a friend who wants to really focus on a career more in being a garden writer. What top tips would you have to start a career in writing? Well, firstly, you as you know, Lisa, you don't need Matt Biggs to give you tips on writing because you have a author right here, and not an award-winning author, not even you have an author sitting right here. So you want tips on writing? Well, let me give you some tips. You get a computer, just start typing what your thoughts, start writing it out. Then you send it off, get someone to heavily edit it. actually, that did happen with my book. I wrote it, someone heavily edited it, and I said, it doesn't even, a bit like what Matt Biggs said, it doesn't even sound like what I'm saying. Part of it. So in the front is this a signed copy? Wow. I said, this book is for my daughter Olive. With many of the seeds, many of the ideas and practices have been tried and tested. She's not getting a percentage of the profits from this, so I'm hoping that this thank you at the start will be enough to cover me both as a father and legally in the future. This is the one. This is the copy that didn't get edited. So I got this one sent, and so basically it was a joke, obviously, and legally in the future. But the way they put the commas in made it sound like it was an actual contract. If you're going to get it self-published on your own, which I think is the way forward. Don't let anyone heavily edit it. There's a lot of spelling mistakes in there, to be fair. Those I left. So you can sort the spelling mistakes. That's fine. That's fine. It says, I wrote a birthday card once. Does that make me an author? Sure. Sure. Oh, Kelly's just popped on Facebook. I think it is easy on Facebook to chat on the old group. You go, Richard Suggett, can you send me your email address about the cola plant? I've had a manic week. When I worked at the newspaper, we looked for articles that were around 2,000 words and would agree a detailed brief beforehand. We would also agree whether the writer or publisher would provide the pictures. I think that's about... What is that about, Sean? Is that about getting articles in newspapers? I think. I tell you what. Now, this might go against everything, right? So it goes back to this... No, stuff it, I'm going to say it. Start a career in writing. write about gardening the way you write about it, because if you try and copy Richard, will you stop doing admin in my comments, please? Get out of town. If you follow the lines of what everyone else does, you're basically everyone else. Like, be unique is what I'm trying to say. Be unique. I think it's better, to be honest with you, to get your creativity out there than just toe the line with everyone else. I'm sure I could. I'm sure I could. No, don't say sorry, Kelly. It's too late. Stop. Both of you are getting a ban if you keep doing your admin in my comments. I think be unique. I'd rather do what I do than toe the line. I'm sure I've been doing this for like 6 years now. I'm sure if I towed the line, I could have been on guard as well if I really put my mind to it. Right, guys? Anyone? Just you, Lee. You and your ego, all right, mate? Lisa, start writing for a local newspaper magazine for a year, then you have a portfolio to take to a proper gardening magazine. Yep. I'm not sorry, Lee. Yeah, do you know what though? Let me just say something, right? About yes, practice in local magazines and garden magazines. There's a bit of money in magazine writing, but not a lot. Hence the reason you don't see me writing many magazine articles. But if you're doing it for the love, then do it for the love. I'm always down. I always go for that sort of thing. Yeah, sure. If you're doing it for the love, then of writing, then that is the way to go. But then again, that's my own opinion. Other people might think different. What's Mark saying? Advice on writing. Google Philip Pullman advice on publishing. Offbeat ideas. Be unique. Just what Lee's talking about. There you go. I knew Mark would agree with me. Sean, I already run 3 businesses. Trust me, I love to write, but it's not for me. Surely, right, Lisa, I've only 3 businesses. Surely you've got loads of time to do a bit of writing, right? Surely. Right, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Let me just, while you guys are sitting there, let me just have a look at Matt Biggs' website, because I want to I got that book, didn't I, from Jenny, who was on the show the other week. And is this his website? I think it is. And I'm pretty sure, here we go, look. Let me share the screen. Every time I get someone, I have to always end up. Yeah, of course. I really want, now, let's have a look. Are you seeing this? Yeah, wicked. Let's have a little look. Legend Talks about, where's your books at, Matty? I'm sure he's got his books on it. Here we go, books. Right. Lessons for Great Gardeners. Not that one. Not that one. Garden and Eden. Not that one. Not that one. Hang on. Oh, Bigsy. Is that all the books? That's not all the books he's got, though, is it? I want the. How do I find Matt Biggs' collection? Should have asked him when he was on here, really, shouldn't I? I want to get that book. If that book's got the pirate story and I want it. Now let me have a look. Let's have a look at him. Oh, by the way, phone lines are open. I don't know if I mentioned that. If you want to call him, I've got half an hour after the show. So if you want to talk about writing, I mean, we feel like we're going that writing direction. If you want to talk about writing tonight, about gardening, but here we go. Here's a question. Yo, team. Here's a question for you. You don't have to call. If you don't fancy calling in tonight, that's fine. Don't worry about it. But put in the comments what your favourite gardening. Don't have to say mine. I know you want to. You know, you don't have to say that one, but if you want it, that's fine. No, what is your favourite gardening book? If you've got a favourite gardening book, tell me what your favourite one is. Right, let me have a little look then. Right, so I want to have a look from. Oh no, that's the wrong one. Don't do that. Don't touch that one. Right, Matt Biggs. What is that book called? He mentioned it. Books. I'm going to write books. What one it's going to be in. I'll confirm with him tomorrow. Here we go, crikey. Here we go. Great Botanists. That's the kitty. Right, let's have a look. Is it the Great Botanist one? Sure it is. Let me see if I can get hold of it. Let's see how much it is. The Secrets of Great Botanists. Go from my favourite website. Oh, there we go. £8.62 hardcover. Now, does it say? Does it say it's got the pirate stories in? £8.62 for a hardcover is pretty decent, actually, isn't it? I'll get that book. I feel like it could be a good one. I will check with Matt. Oh, here we go. Is Matt probably ringing and saying it's not that book? Hello.
Hello, Sean from Cameron, London.
Hey, Sean James Cameron from London. How you doing, man?
I have a very interesting book that Matthew wrote a few years ago with St. Prince. It's called The Great British Village Show.
Oh, yeah.
And it basically tells you how to stage like your jams, your parsnips, your grapes, your carrots. And it's sort of a guide to the village show. So it tells you how to put them onto a plate and what points you'll get and what the judges are looking for.
Or to be a complete winner.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I can see it here.
And it's a great book.
Have you learned a lot from it, Sean?
Well, it was a freebie. So.
Oh, right.
But it was very good because it turned up after I started judging at the village shows, but it was good just to read, just to confirm that I was on the right path.
Oh, well, that was a handy little guide for you.
Yeah, it's a hardback book. It's published by the RHS.
Oh, got you. I see it.
It's quite a thick book. But just going back to the writing.
Yeah. Yeah, go on. Yeah.
On average, yes, magazines would pay for somebody who's just starting out like £75 to £150. But when I worked at the Daily Mail,
yeah, go
on. I sort of put my foot down and said that the people that we were dealing with were established people, therefore we should pay. Right. So I think I got the reputation of spending the Daily Mail's money rather quickly because I was paying people about £450 for an article.
It's weird, mate, because my phone didn't ring. So,
but I just thought, it did, in fact.
Oh, did it?
Because we took your videos.
Oh, yeah. I didn't get 450 quid for them, though.
No, I don't think we paid. I think I used the line of, it's a platform.
To be fair, I don't... What the heck was that? Oh, a bit of grass in my water. To be fair, I don't know if it was the hedgehog one, was it? Don't, mate. It's a long time ago.
I can't... Oh, it was a long time. All I can remember is the thumbnails were black down the left-hand side and there were two of you in the videos. So before you split...
Yeah,
before the band split up.
The Oasis days, yeah. No, those videos, they worked in that sense. I mean, I'm not sure if Daily Mail readers are really my kind of people anymore, but yeah, I suppose it worked.
No, well, that's why we didn't pay, because it was just a friend helping out a friend.
Oh, well, thanks, mate. Thanks so much. Well, you can see from my YouTube channel of the 505 subscribers, it changed my life.
Well, it did.
Sean, you've wrote some books, not gardening ones.
I've got 3 books. I've got 2 books.
Yeah,
but one book was republished. But it is like to do a book, as Sir Matt said. It took 6 months to do a book.
Mm-hmm.
Then it is sent back to you. You then go through every single page. You check all the facts. You check, the clearances for the pictures and everything. Check every spelling. You send it back. Then they publish it. Then they send me a copy. And on the very last page, the very last word is spelled wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I think you noticed a spelling mistake in my book, didn't you?
What, the few pages that I did go through?
Let's see. Oh, we've got a question for you, actually, Sean, while you're on the line.
Right.
Can the RHS be contacted, Sean, for writing?
In what sense?
I'm guessing for like writing an RHS book.
Oh, for yes, but you would know this. As dealing with the RHS, it's like trying to turn the Titanic around in a swimming pool.
Yeah.
This is why Chelsea takes such a long time to put together, because so many people need to get involved. But they have a book division that just deals with books. I don't know where that's based now, because it was based in Victoria.
Could be anywhere,
but I think it got moved up to I can't think now, but there is a place up by you, a bit further up from you, and it seems to be the home of all the magazines.
Is it?
Peterborough.
Oh yeah, right near me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that where they all live?
There's a trading estate in Peterborough, and it's got a lot of gardening magazines there. Because when I went up there a few years ago, because I was asked to go for the editorship of Amateur Gardening, I think it was. No, or was it Garden? I think it was Garden News I was asked to go.
Yeah.
And I was a bit too radical, because I talked about putting it onto the internet, and I could see in their faces that they were like, no, look, we just want somebody who will do what we tell them to do. We don't want you to think.
No, we don't want you to think of the future, mate. We want to hold on for as long as we can.
But if I'm correct, isn't Kitchen Garden close to you? Or Grow Your Own?
Grow Your Own is literally, I could literally run to their offices now and be back before the end of the show.
Well, I was due to be on their podcast. They phoned me up and they were like, somebody's pulled out of the podcast. Please, can you do it like in the next 24 hours?
Oh, well, that's nice.
And then the lockdown started, and then they didn't phone back. So I thought, shut up.
Are they still doing their podcast?
I'm not sure, because I don't bother to listen to it. I only listened to the one that you were on in the first 2 or 3 weeks that they did.
Sure.
And I just felt it was very, okay, this is me building my bridges now. I just felt it was very samey. And there was and you could tell that it was done by people that sort of were doing gardening as a job and not as a passion.
Hey, man, you are on this podcast enough. You get enough airtime anyway. So
No, their podcast.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying you don't need them, mate. You're not burning any bridges. You got us.
I could see the concept. They asked everybody the same 5 or 6 questions.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's a hell of a long way to go. Just
for 5 questions.
Generic questions.
Oh, well, they might call it. They might call next time.
And there wasn't even an offer to come and get me from the train station.
Oh.
No, I'm not being a diva.
No, well, I would have picked you up, mate. I would have picked you up.
When I go to Mr. Fothergill's trial grounds, they send a car to the train station in there.
Listen, Mr. Cameron demands a car, guys. He demands a car.
I was actually thinking about moving to Colchester, because it does seem to be the gardening capital of the country.
Nah, you don't want to move here. Nah, you stay where you are, mate. You'll be fine. I've got Colchester to cut. You don't need to come up this way.
I've actually put too much work into my plot, so I actually want to see that finished first.
Yeah. You stay down there. Go there or Littlehampton.
Oh no, you don't know. that's like one of those places where cousins are uncles and sisters are mothers. And,
Oh, well, that's lovely.
know.
John, as always. Thanks for coming on, mate.
all the best.
You too, dude. Bye-bye.
Bye for now.
Oh, there we go, everyone. Lovely Sean James Cameron back on. The RHS thing, can the RHS, because they can be. One of the things that it does seem to happen quite a bit is if you've got quite a high social media following, then you're probably getting magazines. I think that seems to be the tiers of stuff. It doesn't matter how well you can write. I think I'm proof of that. I've been in a few magazines. A few times. It doesn't matter how well you write. Not that the social media isn't that massive either, is it? But just brilliant. There's no one actually there. I'm just speaking to my ego. The third time it's been mentioned tonight. So yeah, but coming out, they can be, but to get a book, I mean, the book thing takes such a long time. It's such a long time. If you want to write a book, I really think. Self-publishing's the way forward in the future, for sure. Essex Allotment. Alex is saying, grow your own podcast is rubbish. They must have asked Alex to be on, right? Surely. Is it still going? I know. Well, I know we're going to get a book. What time is it? It's 22. By the way, phone lines are still open. 0742 357 4520 if you want to call in. Say hello. George just put a link in. I wish I could click these links that go in, but he has just put a link in the comments for you on Facebook, Lisa, for publications. So there you go. Let's be honest. Most people only get the magazines for free seeds. They do give a lot of seeds away, don't they? Right? Do give a lot of seeds away. You don't want a Conquerite jive, Sean. Wow, Sean's not getting a cup of tea after that comment. I know, right? I know. He can be so kind, Rich, and then literally take it away so quickly. I can see his helping Lisa in the comments, so maybe we'll forgive him a little bit. I don't know. Good book that. Actually, I'm not going to get that one. This is the Great British Village Show from Mr. Biggs. I'm gonna get. Hang on. For a tenner. Where has it gone? That book. There it is. Botanist. Great Botanists. That's the book I'm gonna get. £8.62 is not bad, is it? Should I just buy it now? Am I logged in? No, I'm not logged in at the moment. I'll wait until I'm logged in. Just in case I show you the world my password to Amazon. There we go. Sean's let's get back on his screen. Anyway, guys, look. Big up to Matt Biggs for coming on. Go check his books out now. They're on Amazon. They're mainly on Amazon. I'll be honest with you. Go check them out. Go I'm gonna get the Secrets of Great Botanists. So if you want to read along with me, no doubt. If that pirate story is not in that book, I'll be gutted. I'll get to the end. I'll be like, where's the pirate story? What's that about? Writing's changed so much, hasn't it? It's been not even just in the gardening world. Like Sean said, taking things online I think books, obviously I'm going to say this, I've got a book. Books are one of those things that you invest in a little bit. Mine's a tenner. That said, magazines aren't cheap anymore, are they? They're not cheap. By the way, if anyone's got, Sean just mentioned that book from Bigsy. If you've got a book that you'd like to get, hang on a second. This happens all the time to me. If you've got a book that you think that I should read or you really love, then let me know. We've got 15 minutes left of the show. Oh, here we go. Look. Oh, well done. I bet this is from his. It's got to be his book. From his book. Oh, we'll do a whole. We'll have to do a whole. I'll have to do some further reading on that. Thanks for that, Sean. To everyone else, no one knows what I'm talking about. It's just someone just sent me an email with all that pirate stuff on. Big pirate fan. So get ready for that team. Ian says, I only seem to read books when away in the motorhome. Too much to do when I'm at home. Fair enough. That's fair enough. Yeah, but books seem like more of an investment. If you've got a hardback one or a beautiful one like mine, they're a bit more of an investment, aren't they? And actually, talking about investments, we could probably squeeze in this final advert. Right, final ad of the night. I just quickly, actually, before we go on to the fantastic sponsors of this show, just want to say thank you to you, yes, you, for watching the show. Without you guys, I wouldn't be able to make the incredible content that we put out 4 nights a week, Monday to Thursday, 8 till 10. And the best bits are on the podcast. So you guys creating the best bits on the podcast, thank you so much. Couldn't do it without you. Could not do it without you. If you fancy sharing it to your friends and saying, hey, I mean, you might want to keep it to yourself, but ideally you say, hey, you should watch this, guys, every Monday to Thursday, 8 till 10. Let them know, or just let them know about the Best Bits podcasts. So thank you very much to you, and thank you very much to our sponsor of the podcast this year, Flymo. Flymo, your life easy. Unfortunately, Vince has been put to bed for the year. He goes to sleep over winter because I don't really cut the grass when it's getting a little bit cold, a little bit frosty. I leave the grass, let it do its thing. Vince has changed my gardening life this year. Vince, if you don't really know, is my robotic lawnmower. He cuts the grass for me, does all the work, which means I can concentrate on the bigger things like creating a princess castle this year. You don't have to create a princess castle, but it does mean that you can go and do some more. Potter around while the robotic lawnmower does the work. Go check it out, flymo.com/UK. Now that is a Christmas present. Imagine getting that as a Christmas present. Go check it out anyway, flymo.com/UK. Also, my new book, How to Get Kids Gardening. Let's have a little look. What could we have a look at? This one for next year. If you're gonna grow some veg with the kids, a really simple washing up bowl allotment. Just give them their own space. Something really simple, really easy. It's $9.99 right now on Amazon.co.uk. I say now, it's gonna stay like that. Really super ideas in here. This is a great idea for Christmas. Maybe a little Christmas stocking filler, guy. Huh? 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 Go check it out right now. How to Get Kids Gardening with a Skinny Jean Gardener. And also Garden Club, GDN Club. It's available right now. We've just started uploading the brand new podcasts and the videos, the monthly videos that you get in that club. It works out £3.30 a month, £3.33 a month. But it comes in one lump sum, $39.99. Don't know why I had to say it like that. $39.99 a year. There's so much in there to get you gardening, so much advice, tips, and also you get to speak to me direct. You have an instant button to get in contact with me. I'll get back to all your questions instantly. How about it? Go check it out, skinnyjeangardener.co.uk/GDN. I'd love you guys to be part of that club because it's just going to grow and grow and grow and get better and better and better. Just go check it out. Also, if you fancy sponsoring the show and the podcast, then please do. Want to get your brand in front of people, then this is the place to be. Right. Should we get back on with the last half hour? I think we should. Go do it, Lee. Wow, last 10 minutes of the show. The conversation's changed so much in the I'll go for that comment in a minute, Sean. Conversations changed so much in the comments. So thanks very much, guys. Final 10 minutes. If you want to call in 0742 3574 4520. To be honest, perfectly honest, if it was me, I'd rather go on TV than writing, but that's just me. TV, like, don't get me wrong. I think, look, Sean answers that. The actual film of TV is quite boring. I've been working on TV for 20 years, although the industry is dead at the moment. Start a YouTube channel. Do you know what? I mean, if you're working for 20 years, then it might get a bit boring. But so there's a few things with TV. I love doing TV. I love it. Like I love the buzz about it. What's going on? To be fair, I've not got much of a job apart from talking to a camera. I love doing it. On the flip side, I mean, everyone must have seen my amazing performance on the last thing, Gadget Show. Yeah, thank you. The Gadget Show. I love doing TV stuff whenever I'm asked to do it. The only thing is as an actual thing, if I did it as a job constantly, I couldn't handle the control part of it. I'll do it. If any people watching from TV want to take me on, I'll do it. Don't get me wrong, I love it. If I was my own TV program, it was called the Lee Connolly World Program. I wouldn't be able to handle not being able to be in control of the creative side of it. Sometimes TV can stifle that just a little bit. Just a little bit. Ian, can you explain this comment? I don't know. I didn't watch them adverts a minute ago. Did I mention something about a castle? I thought you said your dad built a castle. What did I talk about in that advert? That question to Ian. Lisa says, I started Sunday morning lives on Instagram, which I love, but 2021 goal is a YouTube channel. I actually have a lovely new employee who's running my production and staging of show homes, and she was the producer for Good Food Live, traveling and cooking shows, done some work for BBC and ITV, but she also said the industry is dead. She's dead. TV's not... TV's not the way to... I'll do TV. Guys, if you want me to do TV, I'll do TV. I think you've got to be looking. We pitched a few shows to some people this year, but pre-COVID, obviously. And we weren't pitching to TV channels. Not really where we're going nowadays, is it? When you look at Netflix and Amazon Prime and stuff like that, I'd pay $5. Oh, back on that one, Lisa. Or personally, what I'd do is put your Sunday morning lives on Instagram, on Facebook. Yeah, both Facebook and YouTube now. Spread the content, spread the love, but definitely put it on YouTube, 100%, even in its form as it is, because people watch YouTube on their phones, still quite good. Even just to start off, I'd still do that. I'll pay £5 a month not to have a direct line to Kitchen Gardener. That can be arranged, Sean. We can arrange that. Mark says, Richard Madeley. Oh, yeah, talking about books as well, weren't we? Richard Madeley, Complete Guide to Self-Sufficiency, a classic, favourite book published in 1941. How to Grow Tobacco in Your Garden, printed by the government during World War II. And Ian also mentioned about a book, Jason Plato, How Not to Be a Professional Racing Driver. I've seen that on my dad's bookshelf, I think. Sean says, I've been asked twice to apply for Gardener's World, but didn't want to live in Bristol. Yeah. As a percent, you have no contract over anything, not even the script. Yeah, it's really stifled TV stuff. It's good. Like I'm not going to knock it because I love it. I get well excited about it. But compare what I have done, a very small bit, as on TV, to this. I love this so much more because it's got freedom. I can literally do whatever I want. Oh, Oliver's Princess Castle. Did I say my dad did? Well, my dad helped me build it. God, we're flying all over. Right. He said, thought your dad built a castle. He said, Oliver's Princess Castle. Yeah, did I say that she didn't? Did I say that I built it? Did I say that in that advert? I need to watch that advert back now. Can't remember what I said. Dad does a lot of the. I mean, I couldn't have built that Princess Castle without him. I'm the artiste though, Ian. I'm the one that brings it all together. Do you know what I mean? I mean, again, technically he brings it together. I just draw it. Sean, I'd get fired easy if I drop a few words I shouldn't say over my big mouth. Oh dear. Okay, he says Bristol. Good lush. I guess that means it's good. But Sean says lived in Bristol for a week and found the area too spaced out. Sean's not happy about anywhere in the country apart from Colchester, it seems, which just fills me with dread. Dave. Sorry, Dave. Hello, Dave. Good evening. Speaking of tobacco plants, I've grown some this year and it's currently drying out. There you go. Dave's on it. Get Dave on it. Get Dave on it. Nice one, Dave. Well, Dave joined us just at the very... What's going on here? He said, I'm half Welsh. My dad was from Rhondda. Just bringing people together in this Facebook group tonight, aren't we? Right. Wow. Right. Wow, what a show. We made it. We made it to the full 2 hours tonight, which there's going to be a night. There's going to be a night where I'm going to cut it short. I don't know when that night's going to be. Tonight was going to be the night, which I was going to say after the interview. I was going to say, I just don't know if I can do it. Do it till 10 tonight, guys. I might finish early. I felt like that a lot. But then when I get into it, I love it. I'm enjoying it. There'll be a time. There'll be a time. Pronounced as Ronfa. Well, don't spell it as Rhondda then. Ronfa. Bello says, I like Richard Vobes style of filming. A lot of people like that sort of style of filming of Vobesy. Go check Vobes out. Go check him out. Right. That's it for tonight, guys. I must say, I really enjoyed that interview. And actually, I cannot wait for it to come out on the podcast because I do give the podcasts a listen. What do you do during the daily? I listen to my own podcast. Sure. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that coming out on the podcast. Thanks so much to Mr. Matt Biggs for coming on the show. Is that an axe? What is... I'm trying to end the show, and Sean James Cameron says, is that an axe to your right? An axe? Where are you looking? To my right. This is a spade. I have an axe. As if someone would trust me with an axe. He must mean that, mustn't he? As if someone would trust me with an axe. Still got 2 minutes. No, it's a spade. I want to change these in the year, but it's a spade, yeah. It's got a bit of dirt on it, unbelievably, I know. I know, right? The club, I always say this, so I'll put it in the comments. If you want to join the club, which I really would love you guys, I'd love you guys to join it. I'm really excited about it. And the first breakfast podcast is coming this Saturday. So this week is the best time to join the club. Best time. Have I write that right? I hope so. I've just put it in the comments. In the comments right now is a link to the club. Go check it out. Go check it out. I'm well excited about it. I'll probably talk about it more tomorrow. I don't feel like I've really talked about the club much, but I'll talk about it more tomorrow if you fancy it. Everyone's like, no, don't worry about it. We'll look at it ourselves. But yeah, it's gonna be so good over there. First rule of TV: stick to the timings. Wow, that's TV, isn't it? And this is the Skinny Jean Garner Show. Thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate. I felt like I finished a bit too abruptly last night. Yeah. Thanks for watching. I do really appreciate it. Your comments, your calls. Keep the conversation going. Once again, thanks to Mr. Matt Biggs for being on the show. And we're back tomorrow. So you're running over time now. Do whatever you want, can't you? Streaming, innit? Do whatever you want. Thanks for watching. It means a lot to me, you guys showing up every night too. And that does keep going all the way through till 10. So I really appreciate that, team. So yeah, see you tomorrow, Wednesday tomorrow, which is Kids Gardening Day, which I should have a bit more news because I'm spending the whole day tomorrow just on the schools thing. So the schools thing, I should probably come up with a better name for it. That'll be the first hour of tomorrow. First hour. I hope you have a good one. I look forward to chatting to you tomorrow. Is there anything I was supposed to tell you about? Oh, I know.
Facilia.
Or Pacilia, if you just read it off there.
Yeah. Oh, I'm on.
Oh, I can't hear you, on. I've done something wrong with the thing. Anyway, elephant poo is what I got.
Good evening, Lee. How are you?
Great, mate. Your signal is always terrible, but I'm good, my friend. Excuse me. You got an allotment? When I go, don't put artificial grass on top of me, all right?
Are you going to get composted, Lee?
Yeah,